For those of you who don't know, the trade deadline is July 30th, and basically the way it works is teams can trade until the deadline, and then they can't trade anymore. And generally, the good teams are trading for the good players on bad teams because those bad teams are like, well, we're not going to make the playoffs anyway. We might as well give them our good player, and they'll give us some of their young prospects who we hope will turn into good players who then will have longer and once we're back being good again.
Right.
So that's kind of the whole concept of the trade deadline. And so there's a lot of bad teams with a lot of good players. It's not the craziest trade deadline. There's some trade deadlines where it's like there's this superstar who's on an expiring contract, and like if his bad team doesn't get rid of him, they're just going to lose him in the offseason for nothing.
Yeah.
And so they have to trade him. This year there's not really that. But there's some really good candidates out there. We're going to focus on the Phillies. Their top two needs. Luke, do you know their top two needs?
Left field and relievers.
Correct. Technically, they could also get a center fielder, and then that would push someone to left. But yeah, probably
left center field.
Left fielder. So yeah, those are their top two needs. And there are people on the market. They have options. You can go for a cheaper guy, a little less risk. He's not going to be as good. You're not going to pay as much. But let's focus on the big ticket guys because that's more fun. Is if the Phillies go out and land a big guy in a big deal. And Dave Dombrowski is running things, and he's known to be okay. You don't like the name Dombrowski? I think Dave Dombrowski's a great name.
It's just Dombrowski.
Oh, he's not. Don't call him dumb.
No, it's just Dombrowski.
He's known for making big trades and signing big guys, and
we need a big
sometimes is okay with parting ways with top prospects, which
a little sad.
Depends on your philosophy. Prospects are risky.
Do the Phillies have any prospects to trade away?
Yes, so that's the big thing here. The Phillies don't have a top farm system. Their farm system's kind of like mid right now. But they have a really strong top three. Their top three prospects of Andrew Painter, a pitcher, Aiden Miller, a shortstop, and Justin Crawford, an outfielder, son of do you know?
I've heard of Justin Crawford before.
Son of Carl Crawford.
Yes.
Who was a major leaguer for a long time. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so it's like that top three is they have a big three in their farm system. And so they would most Phillies fans I think would say, let's hold on to those three. Because we don't want to give up one of them and risk them going on and being a star. Right. That would really hurt to give up one of those guys. In a trade.
But we say no.
Now, the flip side of that is the Phillies are in win now mode. They kind of have like a 3 to 5 year window here.
And they're kind of cooking.
With the Braves, Ronald Acuna Jr.'s out, Spencer Strider's out for the season. Both of them are out for the season. So, this year specifically is kind of a really good time. This is our year. You're leading the majors in wins. The Braves are not as strong. It's basically you and the Dodgers at the top. So,
this is a great year. All-stars you've ever had.
Yeah, this is a great year to go all in. So, they have those top three at their disposal. I personally would not want to trade them.
I wouldn't either.
We'll see. It could happen. I'll talk myself into it if they do,
well,
of
but
course.
What if they... but what if they get a really good reliever
that's true.
Yeah.
Like Thor last year, but on steroids.
Yo. That's the trade-off that you make, is you're getting a good guy right now, and you're just hoping that those guys don't
delayed gratification
end up, coming back to pay you for it. Speaking of a top reliever, there is one guy on the market who fits that description. The Oakland A's. We know they're terrible.
They suck.
They have really bad. Written about them.
They are very bad.
But they scored 18 runs or whatever.
They did. We don't have to focus on that. They have a closer
as bad as people think.
Who's having an incredible breakout year. His name is Mason Miller.
Ooh, double M.
His fastball averages 101 miles an hour.
Wow.
He tops out, I think he topped out at 104. It might have been 103.
He's better than Paul Skeens.
He's crazy.
He is better than Paul Skeens.
Probably.
He only has to throw way less pitches than Paul Skeens, but he's really good.
He's clutch.
And I believe he's under contract for another 5 years. It might be 4, but still. Both of those are a long time. Most of the time, trade deadline guys are either on an expiring contract or they've got one more year.
Yeah. So
4 is crazy.
Is he on the market?
Yes, because the A's suck.
Terrible.
Okay.
So they will probably trade him. But because he has 4 years of control, maybe 5, they're going to want a lot for him.
Yeah.
That's a little scary with relievers because historically they're not the most consistent. Like, there's only a few like top tier relievers who are great relievers year after year. Most of the time, it kind of like shifts and changes. Like, oh, this guy's good, but like he had a really good year this year, and then he kind of fell off. And there's also a lot of great relievers who have flamed out after like 2 or 3 great seasons. So it's risky trading for a great reliever, giving up a bunch of prospects because that could happen. It could be like he had a great year this year, and then he was never really that good again. So they could go out, they could get Mason Miller. Basically, every contender needs relievers, so there should be a lot of bidding for him, which means he's probably going to be the most expensive, I would guess. But if the Phillies add him, that's a huge boost.
That's lit.
Their bullpen's already great. It becomes one of the best in the league. It's already one of the best in the league. I would say adding Mason Miller makes them the best bullpen
I would agree.
in the league, which is then they have the best starting rotation and the best bullpen,
That's
which would be
nuts.
crazy. And their offense is not
Can
bad,
cook.
as we know. So that'd be a huge move. The A's also have a left fielder, Brent Rooker, who has, I believe, 20 home runs. He's top 10 in home runs in the league right now. Problem is he's not great defensively, and they can't put him at DH because Kyle Schwarber is there. No way Kyle Schwarber is playing in the field. He's staying at DH. So potentially they could get Brent Rooker and Mason Miller, both from the A's.
They become the A's.
You would for sure have to dip into the big 3 for that trade.
Just a little scoop, though.
You definitely have to trade one of those guys. So that would be scary. But again, I'm more risk averse. So like there's some people who'd be like, yeah, go get the right now major league star and just hope the prospect doesn't pan out. And then the other outfield guy is Luis Robert. I think it's Robert. It might be Robert. I've heard people say Robert. I've heard people say Robert. Luis Robert from the Chicago White Sox, who are doing even worse
I heard that
than
they
the
were
A's
really bad.
right
They
now.
are.
The 2 worst teams. He's a center fielder. He's really young. He's been good for multiple years. He's probably the best fit for the Phillies. Like if they could go out and get one guy, like unlike Brent Rooker, he's a center fielder. Wouldn't be worried about him out there. He's a great hitter. So those are really the top 3. Those are the big names. If the Phillies can land one of those guys, it would be like, whoa, this is a crazy move. They're trying to win the World Series this year. They probably gave up one of their top guys. Sorry to see you go. So that type of deal.
Sorry, buddy.
So, personally, I think best case scenario, I would go get Mason Miller. Because having him as your closer in the playoffs would be electric.
Yeah.
Especially if he's like pitching well, and a great closer has like an aura about them.
The walk-in
where like,
too.
If he has
Plus
good walk-in
10,000.
music.
If he plays like
It's-
Real Gone, it's like ba-na-na-na-na-na, da-na-na-na. Yo, that'd be so sick.
Mason
Someone
Miller
should do that.
comes out of the bullpen. Like, a great closer bullpen.
No, imagine him
Entrance.
Man. As he's walking out.
It would be great. Have you ever experienced in person? I don't think you have, because the Phillies haven't really, in Phillies games you've gone to, they haven't had like a closer like that. But yeah, it's electric. So if they get Mason Miller, just imagine it's the ninth inning of a playoff game at Citizens Bank Park. They're winning in the 9th inning. Mason Miller comes out of the bullpen. Whatever music is playing, it's so loud. The aura would be crazy.
Aura.
He comes in, pumps a 103-mile-an-hour fastball to lock up the win.
And then it goes.
The stadium explodes. I think that would just be iconic. And the last time, well, the Phillies did have Jonathan Papelbon, so that's a different note. But
JP.
the last time an elite Phillies team had a great closer,
Roy Halladay. Well, he's not a closer.
Brad Lidge.
Brad Lidge. Yeah.
Who they acquired and then won the World Series.
In
So
2008.
acquire a closer, win the World Series.
In 2008.
Brad Lidge was with them the whole year, but still. So I think that's the best option.
Wait, you
Get
know
Mason
what's
Miller.
crazy is that the MLB has had their most attended game since 2008. The Celtics won the NBA Finals in 2008. What are the other things?
Other things.
Other things happened in 2008.
The housing market collapsed.
Housing market collapsed in
2012.
2008.
Spoiler.
If they get that guy, Mason Miller,
Added a top tier
top tier
closer.
closer, Bradledge, 2008, World
Yeah.
Series 2008. Boom.
That would
Done.
be pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know.
I
any
think
other
we should throw
barrels.
the house at this guy. This Matt Miller guy sounds pretty cool.
Matt Miller.
Okay.
Let's
Mason
trade.
Miller.
You think we can get him if we throw in a couple draft first round
Yeah,
picks?
yeah.
And then we throw in those 3 prospects. You think
All three
to
prospects
lock
would.
him up? To lock him
All
up.
3 prospects would
That
for
would
sure get
certainly
Mason
get-
Miller.
Okay,
Yeah, that would,
we should do that. We should.
that would
do it.
definitely be too much.
Let's throw the house at him. Just throw the house. Our
we
next,
want Mason Miller.
Yeah, our
Hey,
next
guys.
2 first round picks and those 3 draft picks.
That's insane.
We'll lock him up,
Bro.
and then he won't leave for 4 years.
Uh-huh.
We'll have a best
Right.
closer for 4 years.
That would be awesome.
We can
That's
win
risky.
the next 4 World
Very,
Series.
very risky. That's the definition of all in.
Yeah.
And then the scary thing is that
What if he gets injured?
the Phillies would not have any
What if he
good prospects for the next 5 years probably. So
That's okay.
as Bryce Harper ages,
That's okay.
Bryce
We're-
Harper and Trey Turner will be in their mid
their-
30s, and they'll have no
Still
one
ripping
around
it.
them, and
That's
it'll be really
fine.
sad.
No, but
But if
we're
you
in
win the
now
World
mode.
Series,
Yes.
Yeah, bro.
We're
in the
win
prime
now.
of our youth, so we
If
want
you
the
win the World
Phillies to win
Series.
now, not when we're
Are we in the
20
prime of our
well, you
youth?
guys are already.
What's the prime of your youth
I think it's early 20s.
in regular
right?
life, not baseball?
I think that's early 20s.
Is it?
I don't know.
I feel like that's when you're
For the
at
average
peak
person,
of your
say you graduate college,
physical performance.
Yeah, physical peak is
well, it depends what
27,
sport.
right?
It depends
Right.
what sport because.
Oh, I thought we were talking just life.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it depends. You're probably more athletic at running when you're
Yeah.
older. If you run marathons,
Your brain's fully developed at 25.
I say 25. That's peak life.
So maybe
right there.
mid 20s is your best.
So yeah,
your prime.
mid-20s, yeah.
Well,
So as long as the Phillies win a World Series between now and our mid 20s,
yes,
we'll be good.
that's okay.
So we're in win now mode.
Yes. And we're in kind
so
of.
let's trade away our picks and let's trade
Yeah.
away our prospects.
Yeah.
Parker's going even
I don't
crazier
need
than
any
Dave
of them.
Dombrowski.
I don't need any of our
Yes.
prospects.
Oh,
So let's trade
Dombrowski.
every guy away. We'll give away the ones that are bad. We'll just give it
Mm-hmm.
to them so we can start fresh in the farm system.
Farm it.
We really start farming,
Agriculture.
and then we trade away those
Fertilizer.
3 guys. We get Matt Miller, and
Mason.
we get Luis Robert.
Oh, get both of them.
You get
Both of
Mac
them.
Miller.
Okay.
We go all in.
Okay.
We go all in, and then we trade away.
That'd be nuts.
We trade away guys that are bad. So we trade away all the farm system guys.
Yeah.
If we don't like
want
them,
farmers.
we give them away.
They're
And then we
pigs.
have a bunch of
Just
empty
insult
spots.
farmers?
A bunch of empty
Yeah.
spots.
Yep.
Yeah.
We hold a Gran Turismo style draft.
Yeah.
Where it's
Yep, yep.
the best MLB show players.
Yes.
We bring them in to see if they can perform. We have
We
a
train 'em.
tournament. We train them. We
New
have
farming system unlocked.
and then our new farming system.
Parker's revolutionizing this.
And then we have the top 12 of those guys in each position battle it out 1v1 in groups of 12 for each spot,
Yep.
and then the
And
best
this is for the whole farm system?
yes.
Okay, so we would want to take 6 from each position.
So then the best 6 from each position
Yeah.
are our new farm system.
There you go.
Yeah,
Rebuild.
The
Just
cream
like that.
rises to the top. It's a draft. It's basically it's a draft, but from the entire world.
Facts.
You get the best players out of the entire world
Right.
because you have nobody else,
Yeah.
and it's just they compete with each other.
Exactly.
Cream rises to the crop.
Cream of the crop.
Cream of the
Cream
crop.
rises
You find-
to the crop.
You find the cream of the crop when
Yeah.
they
When
rise
the cream
to the
rises
top.
to the top of the crop.
Yeah.
That's a genius idea, though.
That's
and
kinda
that,
crazy.
That's the motto of our farm system.
Yes.
that way we have win now mode, but we also have good
win
prospects.
later mode.
Yeah.
We
Win all the time.
That's just
mode.
win mode.
all we do is win.
Win.
No
No matter.
what?
Got money.
Oh, I thought you were doing every word.
Oh.
Oh well.
Well, it was kind of
Yeah.
phrase.